Okay,
Yep.
all right, let me share my screen. Okay, we there?
We're there.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's just go down the line. Let's start with Al Crawford.
Start at the bottom.
At the bottom.
One more down, Sandy.
One more
Was there
down.
another? There we go. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, you were hiding under Steve there.
Is this you when you were in high school, Al?
Yeah.
Well, that turns out that was probably taken in about 1870s.
Okay.
That's my great grandfather.
Wow.
And obviously I didn't take it, but I don't know whether she laughed because she thought maybe I did take it or what. Anyway, I did it for an experiment. And so you're seeing the results of my experiment.
Okay.
And so go up to Julia.
Go up to this first one.
I'm
Let me
not
give-
sure. It's not the other black and white. They didn't come out in the same order that I thought they would.
Okay. wait.
Go to the one that says 1.
Let me open this up wider, then I can read them.
Oh no, the top one.
Yeah, it's got to be
This one?
the top one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Okay,
Color.
that is Photoshop Neural Filter Colorize.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
done.
Straight from the original.
Okay.
I did tone down the shadow that was under his lip was really bright red, and I toned that down. I left it in, but you notice the collar and the shirt below the bow tie is colored, and it should be white.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I didn't change that on purpose just to show what it did.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you pick anything like his coat color or
No,
the skin? should
that
come
just
out?
came
Okay.
straight out of it. I'm
Okay.
guessing it would be gray, but I don't know that.
Mhm.
And you didn't pick the eye color either?
I did not, and I don't think it would be blue
Okay.
because Crawfords don't have blue eyes.
Oh, there you go.
But it was fairly light in the original picture, so it might have been a blue eye.
Or it could have been hazel, like light hazel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it wouldn't have been the dark brown eyes that most Crawfords have.
It's interesting the way they
But
made the
yeah, his name was
red.
Edward Hume.
Yeah.
And I did very little touch up on that on purpose.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would touch it up a little more if I wanted it for serious, but
Right. Right. You want me to go to this next one here?
okay, go down until you get to one that says edit 1.
Edit 1, edit 3, edit 4.
No, edit 2, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, that's the one we're on now.
Yeah, okay. That is again a Photoshop new filter in its style transfer or something like that.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I wish it would tell, it doesn't name them. I wish it would, because
Oh,
I can't tell you what style that was. I could show you on the map which one I use. I know what's location. I tried almost all of them, and I kind of like this one.
Mhm.
And that came directly from the colorized version.
Yeah,
oh, so not from the black and white. You took the color version and ran it through that filter.
Yeah, I took the color version and ran it through this filter.
okay.
And I thought it came out pretty good.
Yeah,
I
that's
like that
interesting.
particular style.
I like the background, what it did to the background.
Yeah, I
Quite-
like what
quite
it did on the
interesting.
background.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
The
also on
the
the
face
sheet.
is a little distorted.
What is?
The face around the nose and the eyes is a little distorted.
Yeah,
Not too much. I think the eyes have made a little
but is it more distorted than a painting would be?
Yeah, not too much though.
Probably pretty close. It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
That
So
way.
now you want me to go to 3?
yeah. Now that is in the different grouping. There's 2 groupings. There's presets, and that first one was a preset. And this was a style. And it's kind of something, I forget, somebody called it something the other day. And on this one, I toned it down to about 80%. It was too bright to begin with. And again, if I'd have turned that shirt sleeve, the shirt to pure white, I think it would have come out better,
Mhm.
a little bit better, but I didn't.
Mm.
And I like this one too.
Mhm. The only thing I think if you made the shirt too white, your viewer would go here rather than to his face and eyes.
And it's interesting that the shirt is white on the shadow side.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of a white blue on this side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, let me.
And that one is, yeah, that is the black and white version of the previous one.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
And that was done through Luminar Neo.
Gotcha.
Okay,
okay.
that's quite nice.
Mhm.
I-
Yeah, it's starting to look like an etching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, I think I like that one at all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, Al, I must say you're getting creative on us.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a test, good for you. I like that. I like your end result too.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
I think he's got a better mustache than you.
Yeah, but he's short on the beard.
A little.
Al's still here. Yeah, there he is. Okay. Maybe he's muted. All right. Well, thanks for bringing those in, Al. Keep pushing the envelope. Let's see what you come up with.
See, that's my teaching for today.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
There you go.
now look
Don't
at
give it-
that,
I'm giving Sandy a hard time.
that black and white one kept the shirt completely white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. It didn't like give it tones of different grays and stuff. See how, yeah, it kept it pretty white.
Pretty close to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the color version was pretty light.
Mm-hmm.
And so
That was good.
Well, you could have probably changed that up a little bit, Al, if you were using, well, Lightroom and did even Photoshop and taken it into Camera Raw and just done a white balance sampling of that shirt itself. It might have popped it up a bit more.
I could have, but I was going for a minimalist approach on it.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I'm only partially joking when I said it was my teaching, because I didn't want to do too much, because then I would have had trouble explaining it and trouble getting across the simplicity of what I did. So
Sure.
Well, I think you want to keep the variables out. You want to just explain what the neural filter is capable of doing on its own, which I think is a
right.
thing to do. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, if you altered the original image before you got to the neural, then yeah, that's fine. And then you don't have to really explain anything, because we assumed you adjusted it and made it the best you wanted it to be before you started. So however you want to do it. But yeah, I think during the neural part, yeah, from one to the next, you just got to let it do its thing so you can see the capabilities. And appreciate that feedback. Okay, Alan.
Hi, this is a photo of a Merlin. Don't see too many of these around here, so just got it the other morning. He was up pretty high in the tree, and anyway, and he was facing the wrong way, so he just turned his whole head around just to see what I was up to. But, yeah,
How big a bird is that, Alan?
not very big. He's probably maybe not quite the size of a magpie. Maybe a little bit smaller than a magpie.
Oh, wow.
Well, that bill looks like a raptor's bill.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, he looks pretty big.
He's a real killer. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
His
Interesting.
his eyes are situated for it too.
Yeah.
Does he migrate or is he there all year round?
I believe he's out here all the year round. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Quite.
Most of these big birds are not big birds, but these birds of prey don't travel around. I think some of them do. The Swanson hawk, they used to nest in a golf course at play here, and they actually fly all the way down to Argentina and back every year.
Yeah, I know they come
That's
through
amazing.
the
Unbelievable.
Wilcox area.
But I think this guy just sticks around.
Yeah, we've been seeing a peregrine falcon around here lately, up on the big Corten steel power lines. He's up on the top of there.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
And I kind of I like the branch in this. And,
mhm.
In the
It's
really
interesting.
blue sky.
there's some interesting.
I was gonna comment on
going
that.
in the back.
Freaking,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. Not sure what that is. I think actually that's coming from my lens, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. I was going to
Oh.
ask you if maybe it was shot through a screen or something.
No, it wasn't through a screen, but I
Yeah.
sometimes get that on this lens.
Oh. Is that your Sigma?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some kind of refraction. Are you stopped down a lot?
This is at this would be about f11.
Well, that's not too bad.
No.
Yeah. Your minimum aperture is what, 5.6 on that?
5.6. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 2 stops down. That should be fine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I sometimes see this. I don't know why or what causes it.
Yeah, maybe you can do a test where you do like 5, 6, 8, 11, 22 and see when it starts showing up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not there all the time, so I'm not sure.
Oh,
Yeah, try
okay.
and analyze it a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could keep the shutter speed that you have on this particular image as a starting point.
Right.
And
I
so-
typically have it up reasonably high. I probably have it. This is probably about 1100 or 1200.
and it's manual or electronic shutter?
That's a manual. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
on a
okay.
D5.
I
D5.
know sometimes you get some stutter in the electronic ones.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I'd use the shutter speed that you have here as a starting point, and maybe even just do that tree branch if you're back in that area.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just run a test with or without the bird.
idea.
You'll be lucky he's still there, but who knows?
will idea.
But then you've got the same things to test against there.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. All right. let's move
Stupid
on.
question, Alan. Was it a really cold day?
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it
he
wasn't
looks like,
hot. But it wasn't hot either.
yeah,
No, I
he looks like
meant-
he's puffed up.
Yeah. Was it cold enough to, impede shutter
Oh, no,
function? Okay.
No, I put this camera out in minus 25 degrees, and
Yeah,
it was nowhere close to that. So
All right.
yeah. I thought you were mentioning it because of the way he was puffed up, Stu.
yeah, he was kind of ruffling his feathers a wee bit. So
Yeah. Let me make this a little bigger. There you go.
oh,
Hmm.
Oh, and
So,
now I see the train.
yeah,
Ah,
I've called this one the ghost train.
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
nice.
So the train was, it was actually, this is a bridge again, just down in the park from us. And this is it's a freight train, so it's a big locomotive. And I originally had it looking really nice. Had a big red locomotive, looks really cool with the black steelwork of the bridge there.
Mhm.
But then I kind of got a little bit crazy and went into the, what's it called, Topaz, and played around in there, and this is what came out. So
Oh. It almost looks like a negative.
Yeah, almost like a colored egg.
Yeah,
Looks like an invert. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's like those old colored eggs with the orange bias, and then you get the blue and
oh,
highlights and stuff. Yeah,
and I thought it was a little bit different. So that's why I
Very
went with it.
yeah, it's fun.
yeah.
It's amazing what's hidden in these images, isn't it?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes. What the sensor sees that we don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
The trees really stand out beautifully.
I think maybe pull these two guys out.
Mm.
What's that? Sandy?
Maybe clone these two guys out here.
I'm not seeing it. Okay. All right. No,
There and
Yeah.
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just keep catching them in my peripheral vision.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nice.
A little bit
Okay.
different. Yeah. I took this yesterday. This is really light, fluffy snow hanging onto some bushes.
Oh, wow.
And it was so, I just had to stop and take a photo of it. It was just so light and fluffy, and it looked really cool.
Yeah.
And when I looked at the image later, I was not all that pleased with it. So
Oh,
again, I went into Topaz and put it through one of these filters. I can't remember what it's called.
oh, yeah.
Mhm.
It looks like either impressionist
It's an-
Yeah,
it's one of
or
these
expressionism or a Van Gogh.
expressionism.
Yeah.
That's what it
yeah.
is.
Mhm.
And I'm just blown away with what it does to these images. It
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes them look really
I was
cool.
giving it like a dreamy Pima cotton.
Yeah.
That's
Saying,
that's
it's
like
that-
a cotton.
It
Yeah.
looks like a cotton field, yeah,
Yeah,
but a very stylized
yes,
Yeah.
cotton field. Very nice.
real pretty.
I tried adjusting it, bringing it back forward, or taking some of the effects out of the snow, and it just didn't look right. So
Mm.
I just left it full bore. So it's just the way you see it.
I like the effect down here behind the main plants, Alan, on the ground, the
Yeah.
bluish white.
Yeah. Yeah, it just does a tremendous job in all these little branches.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it's almost like they're dancing down here.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Okay,
Wow.
let me make this a little larger. There we go.
So this is a view of the Rockies from, it's about 10-15 minute drive from where I live.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
It was a kind of nice day. Went out for a little picnic and stopped and took a photo of this.
how tall are those highest mountains?
I'm not really 100% sure. I would say maybe, I don't know, 8,000 feet or so, maybe 9.
Okay, yeah.
We're at we're just over 3,000 feet.
Mhm.
Oh, so just like Green Valley then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are quite a way in the distance. So they're probably, it's a good hour and a half's drive.
Wow.
And
No,
this is a wide angle lens, so you
Mhm.
know it's not super close. So.
But after that snowfall we got, what was it, a week ago? Week and a half ago,
Mhm.
where it snowed up in Madeira, I drove up just to kind of get a bird's eye view of it. And there was a lady that pulled in from Colorado. And I thought, why?
Yeah.
Did you drive all the way to Arizona so you could drive up to see the snow in
Maybe she was missing it.
I guess.
Homesick.
Well,
Must have
yeah,
been. That must have been it, Al.
yeah,
Alan.
I don't
Yeah.
understand why, but
Yeah, you really miss the snow. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
there's
there's
something magical about snow.
Well, this wasn't enough to really be magical. though.
Oh, okay.
Well,
The dusting, but
there's a lot of snow in the mountains here. That's
Yeah.
for sure. So,
there were a couple big ravens up there that were squawk talking everybody. So
Eh,
and it's a beautiful piece of land here. So
oh, it is. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I wonder if
I
maybe-
did change the sky in this. It was fairly blue, straight blue. And it wasn't bad. I could have left it, but I just thought putting the clouds in a little bit helps.
What do you think about maybe using a little dehaze? on it?
Haze. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm just thinking it's a little milky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
All right, let's trying to remember. Yeah, here's dehaze.
What time of day was that, Alan? In the morning?
That would be probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm primarily just looking at the mountain areas right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You know.
it's getting awfully dark blue when you do the dehaze.
Yeah, I would adjust some other things, but I'm just looking at the milkiness here. Maybe
Uh-huh,
maybe a little contrast to
Yeah.
you know, and then let's isolate it with
Yeah,
just
the color's gone crazy.
brushing
I'm
it.
just wondering if it was because of the moisture in the atmosphere at that point.
Could've
Pretty low moisture.
Turn that. Oops. I guess when I do undo, it gets rid of it. Okay. So let me turn my feather up here. Yeah, there we go. Not the feather, but the flow. Oh, I'm not going to be all accurate here, but let's turn off this auto real quick. A lot of times I find for coverage, I'll just do it without the auto first. Make sure I've got everything covered, even a little
Yeah.
spillover. And then I'll come back with the negative brush and then I'll turn it on and just clean up the edge. Let me get my flow up there. You can use your shortcut keys too, by the way. I just
Yeah.
haven't been, but you know, you can just punch in 0 for both 100%. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so something like that. And then let's just take a look. Clarity and dehaze in that area. You know, let me put a little on and then turn this. Let's see here. Do we have? Can I get? Yeah. Well, it looks like it zeroed it out here. Good. Okay. I wasn't sure. I'm trying to get back to my normal stuff where I'll have to turn the mask off, I guess, and go back to the, this user interface is a little different. Let's zero this one out and then go back to our masks so we're not doubling it up. There we go. Looks like it's still there, doesn't it?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Let me see something here. There's the before and after. Yeah, it's still there. All right. Let me just zero this out. Somehow. I just looks like it's zeroed out here. I don't understand. There. All right. Reset basic. There we go. I guess you have to hold the Option key and then All right, so we're back here to our mask. All right, so now we're doing it locally. Okay, let's get down here. See what we got. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
it's a
that.
little better, yeah.
Yeah, you could even pull, clarity doesn't do a whole lot, but let's take a look at contrast.
Oh, I think that made a big difference.
Yeah, maybe the whites, bring the blacks down a little bit.
Yeah,
And then you could probably, change your hue a little warmer. Ooh, now
Ooh,
that, yeah, I don't think so. Let's zero that out. Maybe just desaturate a little bit. I don't know if it gives you, no, it doesn't give you much other controls. Well, you got temperature. Let's warm it up that way. There, that's a little better.
that's better, yeah.
And then take the green out with a little magenta. There you go. Okay, so now when we look at it,
That looks more natural.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the difference. So, yeah, you can do it that way.
Mhm.
And then you could do a linear grad, to bring this a little darker if you wanted.
yeah.
Just something like that. Hold the shift key down so it stays straight. Yeah,
I think that one area like behind the tree, like just a little bit below midpoint horizontally is awfully dark.
over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seems artificially dark compared to the area behind it. Yeah, so,
Well, you can adjust that by
Yeah. by
erasing,
gradient, yeah.
erasing.
Oh,
some of what we
erasing
put
the
in there.
mask, yeah.
Yeah, so if we went back here and did a subtract on this guy,
Hmm.
and it was a brush, and we came in here and kind of keep the feather up and take the flow down,
Hmm.
you can just kind of bring that back.
That's better.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just artificially so dark.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you got it. Good call.
This is an HDR, so this is made up of three.
Oh.
Three
Well,
stop.
after you do your HDRs, do you stack them together in Lightroom?
Stack them together in Lightroom. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you change the adjustments that it gives them?
No. The
Yeah.
only-
Yeah, you should do that because I usually rarely like the adjustment it gives the final image. So you check that out. That probably would give you a little better way to go there. So back to this one now. Maybe we could even just darken this down just a smidge. There you go.
Much better
You,
balance.
you could ramp this up too, or just take a brush
Yeah.
through here and take the snow down a hair too. I think that would be the last thing. So yeah, let's just do it with a brush. I'm gonna get a
Now the mountains really kind
pretty
of,
big one here and just kind of blow through here. And just drop the highlights just a little, take the whites down, just somewhere like that. There you go.
now the mountains are really the
The focal
Star.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody got that?
Yep.
very nice.
Okay, good. Ready? This last one here.
Oh, look.
So this is actually from the same location.
Mhm.
I like your composition, Ellen.
Mm,
Good luck.
Thank you.
lovely.
Yep, that works nicely.
Yeah, thanks. So what I was
Texture on
trying
the
to do
post.
here, I was trying to, this is made up, I think, of three images, and it's a different focus point. So the first focus was obviously on the barbed wire here,
Yeah.
and then a mid one, and then the one for the mountains.
Oh,
And
Very
and then I stacked them in Photoshop. But I have to tell you, I was really quite disappointed with how Photoshop handled some of it. If you look at the barbed wire just down on the left-hand side a little bit,
Yeah.
it's a little soft there.
Yeah.
And I try to go in, you know, when you do these stacking in Photoshop, it shows you the different layers that it's created and what's covered in each one. And I try to go into them and to try and recover some of the sharpness of the barbed wire, and I couldn't do it for some reason. I just
Did you turn off the mask in each one by hitting the shift key and hitting the mask to see which one?
yeah, yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it there?
I'm not. Yeah, I could turn them on and off, Sandy,
Okay.
but when I went to try and recover some of the details of it, I just couldn't get it to
Right.
do that.
Well,
so.
all right. So if you find the right one, you can, open that mask up with white and bring it back. And I'm guessing it would be the top layer since that's the nearest point.
Right.
Yeah, you could just, paint back the mask.
Yeah,
In the white, and that should come up.
that's what I was trying.
Yeah, and it didn't do it, huh?
No, well, it's one of these Photoshop things, right? So
Yeah.
you think you can do it, but no, it's not going to. And
Interesting.
it's obviously me, it's not Photoshop, but
Yeah,
I
sometimes
thought I
it's
was-
Photoshop too.
Yeah.
thought I was doing it right.
Yeah.
But the one thing I didn't like, well, I was unsure about this in this particular image. So I've actually cropped this in a little bit to avoid some of the mismatch from the Photoshop.
Mhm.
But I didn't like the tree. See the tree in the middle there? What do you guys think of that?
This guy?
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm kind of mixed.
Okay, yeah.
When I first saw it, I thought, yeah, you could probably do without it or shorten it up or
Yeah.
something, but I don't know. It kind of,
I like it.
you got this 3 thing going on, which is good.
Yeah.
And I think if you brought it down too much, it'd be kind of insipid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you using a tripod, Alan?
Oh yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alan, did you add coloration to the sky to get that nice warm glow behind the mountain?
No, that's actually an imported sky. Again, the sky was
Oh.
very nice. It was quite blue.
Mhm.
It was a nice sky.
Oh,
But it was quite bland. So I thought putting this one in added a nice little bit of
okay.
It does.
going
Very
for the-
nice.
Yeah, you can see it bled through a little bit here. I'm guessing there was something on the wood. here.
That's some snow in the top of that.
Yeah, you probably could have pulled some of that back. Try this, Alan, if you still have this in layers,
Yeah,
turn everything off below this main layer that has this in focus.
yeah.
And then take your mask and work on bringing it back and make sure your brush is at 100%.
All right.
And see.
I'll try it again. You know yourself, well, maybe you don't, but it's just when you're trying to do this so many times, it gets a little frustrating when there's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing is check and make sure your brush is in normal mode, because if it's not, it might not be bringing the mask back the way you want. That could be a problem too.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah, it's always something that's not adjusted right that gives you the headaches.
But other than that little piece, Alan, the photograph is wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
I like
that's
the
a
composition.
minimal problem.
yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed the issue with the barbed wire if you hadn't said, because
Yeah.
it
I
looks.
mean, if you want to go back to the old fashioned way, you could paint this in and clone around it to sharpen it
Yeah.
up. you know? But I think you'll be able to solve it easier than that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good. This is a good one. I mean, I like the image. I really like the image.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be a good discussion for
Mhm.
why didn't this work the way I
Yeah.
expected it
Well,
to?
You
good.
expected it to, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're here for, problem solving. So that's good. Thank you. All right, Maureen, you've got a bunch. Let's see. I know
Well,
there are
you get
befores
their
and afters. Yeah.
befores and afters.
I
Yeah.
took a quick peek before we started. So
Okay, that's my before.
yeah, let's find the after. Boy, these are all over the place.
Beautiful horse.
Yeah, isn't he
Yeah.
pretty?
There it is.
Okay,
Oh,
that's my after.
oh,
I thought about turning her into a silhouette. The problem with trying to market or sell images that have people in them that are identifiable is tough. And I think, I can't remember if I had a photo release from her. I can't remember. So I thought, well, I'd turn them into something unrecognizable.
Hmm.
So this was topaz and something charcoal, and it did all these swirly things, which I thought were really interesting, but it was totally black and white. And I thought, well, most women like purple and girls like pink as well. And I looked it up online, most popular colors for girls, teenage girls, purple and pink. And so I went in and
That also applies to 4-year-old granddaughters as well.
Yeah.
well, I'm not too much for pink, but I do like purple. But then I went in and I can't remember how I got the colors in. Got the purple in there using one of the topaz filters, I believe. And then for the background, I put a cloudy sky, and then underneath it put just a fill layer of pink, and then change the opacity on the sky so that it wouldn't be, because when I had it just flat pink, it just looked too boring to me. And the cloudy sky gave it a little bit more dimensionality. So that was my goal. I'm kind of okay with it. I might play around a little bit more with it, but I think it might have some commercial value. We'll see.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the expression on her face.
Yep.
I really like these little swirls.
Yeah,
Yeah, aren't they kind of interesting
Yeah.
yeah.
how it does that?
Carry that up here. Yeah, it's nice. You kind of carry the viewer around the image.
Yeah. I kind of like the outline of the purple around the image a little bit too, because obviously this
Okay.
is not real life.
Yeah.
Trying to make it look not real life.
Oh, you got to put a unicorn on there.
But it's a dark, I think unicorns are white.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, and then the next one.
All right, so we got a
This one is just the after.
Okay.
Oh,
There was this building in Benson, Arizona. This man bought a whole block across the street from the railroad tracks on the other side of town. And this particular building was a brothel at one time. And I just thought it was so interesting that they had the bathtub on the back porch. And I took this photo, and it just always makes me smile when I see it. And then a year or two later, they tore the entire building down. The city deemed it a hazard because it was in pretty bad shape. They took it down. I have a picture of all the wood stacked up that they took it down with too. But I just thought it was fun.
yeah.
The city condemned it all and had it raised. Yes.
Yeah, and there was a lot of controversy about it. You know, like it was part of the history there, but I guess maybe history that Benson didn't really want to remember.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it was next door to it was called the Arnold Hotel, and that hotel was a stagecoach stop. So it was right next to the hotel back in the day.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Back in the day. Then the next one is here down one more. That one is an old, it was an old buggy on the porch of the hotel, and it has some kind of a tool belt draped across it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, little disturbing in some ways. Yes.
Halloweenish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, what tools were used on that poor baby?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
It was a doll carriage.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
it looked like a doll carriage to me, but
Okay.
maybe not.
But you don't know. With a good horror story, Sandy, is that baby was something other than just the baby, and
Yes.
yeah.
that tool belt is the only thing that's left of the guy. that tried
Yeah. Yeah. Rosemary's Baby.
to-
Yeah, he said, lunch.
Oh my goodness. I never
Yeah.
was going in that direction. But that's for
As we degrade quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then the next one is the before.
Nice, Maria, it really is.
Yeah, that was fun.
Cute.
I like that.
This is a photo from a dressage show
Yeah.
as well.
Mm.
And I really liked the horse. I liked his headset, and but of course the background is horrific, and I didn't want the person to show as a person, so I don't have a model release from that person.
Oh,
Oh,
So I played around a little bit with some topaz filters.
yeah, I really like that. That's nice.
yeah.
I liked what it did to the horse because I don't know, it's just really odd, really different. The background I had trouble with, and I wanted something different in the background. And I took a picture that I had taken in, I think it was Charleston or Charlotte, I think, and of a building, and I put it in the background and kind of distorted it. I have two different views, so I kind of wanted to see which one you thought was the better one.
I think the pant legs are a little bit white. All right.
Yes, yes. I did try darken them. I have to go back and probably color them in.
Yeah, maybe you can pull some tone of this color into that or this.
Oh, the blue in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the breeches are never, well, they're usually white.
yeah.
Yeah,
Leave it
Or
too
black.
white.
yeah, they can be black, I think, too.
Hmm.
So take a look at I think I have two versions here.
Yeah, we're on the blue one. Here's the
Okay.
previous one.
See which one you liked better.
Yeah, this one's a little more monochrome background.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And here's the one with more.
yeah,
blue.
that one's a little more blue.
Yeah.
I think I like the blue with the warm and cool playing off each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And does it disturb you to have all that checkerboard background?
No,
No.
Okay, I tried doing it with just a plain black background and it just seemed flat.
so you can't get any more of a right foot there. It's all cropped off. Or?
I think that's cropped off in the original version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
it is, yeah. And if, I think the horse is different. Look and see if I have two different treatments on the horse. I think one is a little more exaggerated. No, I guess not. Okay, I did have two different treatments, but I guess I didn't do them. I just did the one. Okay, so you like the blue in the background a little better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost an oil and water effect on the horse.
It's
Maureen.
just really weird.
Yeah.
It's something, it's almost like a sculpture.
Yes.
You know, you lose the effect of the hair and it
What was
becomes.
that play where they had the big horses and they were moving them, the people. were moving
Oh, yes.
them. Yeah, and they almost look like wicker. That's
Mhm.
kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it is
I
kind of
don't
like
remember
a
the name of
texture.
that play though.
if you want to see some nice horses, statues of nice horses, look up. They're called the Kelpies, and it's a huge structure in between Glasgow and Edinburgh.
I think I've heard of it, Alan. Yes.
They're fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
Is that KELPES?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I will do that.
Yeah, I can't
Thanks,
remember.
guys.
Was that play Warhorse or was it something else? I don't remember.
They're kind of mythical horses, I believe. Don't really know. I haven't seen it myself. I'd love to go and see it. I haven't seen it. But I've seen there's lots of amazing photos of them, and they're pretty cool to see. They're steel, made out of steel. So.
Interesting.
Very nice, very nice.
Thanks, Maureen.
Thank you, guys.
All right. See what we got here, Steve.
So that's the after picture.
Oh, there we go.
That's before. And if you look at the after, everything's been pulled out of the after.
Yeah,
Power lines, power poles.
yeah.
Mhm.
So this is just a Luminar Neo
Oh,
exercise for me.
Did Luminar take all of that out?
No, not all of it. I did the erase in Luminar also. And then came back, I think I took it into Photoshop and had to replace, you see the window on the right-hand side, I guess, on the screen at least. Had to replace the edge of that window. So it was a little bit of work, and then replace the sky. But I just wanted to see what Luminar Neo
oh, yeah.
could help me with here. So
Mhm.
Nice job.
Yeah,
Now, when
Yeah.
you erase this pole on the right here,
yep,
yeah, did you just use the erase tool in Luminar?
yes.
And it created the rest of the window?
No, it didn't. I had to bring a window in.
Oh, so you grab one and
You're
bring
seeing like the window right here,
That's
just to the right of it.
it.
I just did a copy and paste on that one.
I got
Ah,
okay.
okay.
smart.
Yeah, yeah. Now I see it. It's a lot darker. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go.
So that was just how far can I take this and
Mhm.
how much can I clean it up? And it did a pretty good job.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
good.
not a great picture, but it's just an exercise in photo retouch. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is this market or bakery?
right up on 6th. It's right across from the Catholic Church, I think it is.
Oh, it's 6th and 6th?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's fun.
Yeah, I like the composition, the long building, and then the
Yep.
bakery sign that
Yeah.
kind of complements the
Mhm.
horizontal.
Yeah, it's almost the same aspect.
It's very graphic looking, isn't it? It's just,
Mhm.
yeah. Nice.
So it was just a fun exercise for me
Yeah.
to see what could be done. And it's really kind of amazing what Neo does.
Yeah. Actually, you just reminded me just to diverse a little bit, that image that I had with the ghost train, I had that in Neo, and it took out a lot of the power lines in it
Yeah.
quite well for me. Yeah.
Now, I have seen it screw up really badly too, though, Sandy.
Oh, yeah.
Where you go back in and go, my God, the artifacts that left in here are worse than the ones I had originally. So,
Yeah, I had an experience with an image like that too. And
Yeah.
then what I did was I took out the areas that I knew it would work well on and left the others alone, and then went into Photoshop and used the healing brush, and it worked quite well
yep,
for the rest. Yeah. So
it's kind
Nice
of a
to have an
multi-step
arsenal.
process. Yeah, it is.
yeah,
And this was just a fun shot out of $2
yeah.
framed up and with a grunge filter, I think, applied
Mhm.
in topaz.
Nice.
And a frame.
Yeah, and a
I
frame.
like your matting and framing on it. Very nice.
Well, I tried to not match the colors that were in the picture itself, but come a little close and maybe a little darker than what was there. So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Very
just enough
nice.
to complement them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I miss
So
all
again,
the
just
I miss all the vibrant Mexican colors.
yeah, yeah,
Well, here's some more for you.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And that is just a gateway at one of the small stores down there in $2.
Mhm.
But I love the gateway.
Mhm.
Now, I did
Awesome.
have to take out a sign there in the middle of the prickly pear that said closed.
Yeah.
Um,
oh, yeah.
I like the shadow here from the little,
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
really
the
nice.
statue. I did too, Sandy. I
yeah,
like that a lot.
yeah, that's great.
A little donkey down in the corner.
Mhm.
Yeah, cute little bugger, yes.
I want to maybe take off his little supports there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would help make them a little more realistic. Yeah, fun.
I'm sure we
Nice
could
job.
pull that off.
Oh, yeah.
And this was over at Kanoa.
Mm.
That's our Inspector Gadget egret.
Was it up on top of one of the shades there, structures there?
Yeah, it was on top of the pavilion on the east side.
Okay,
Looks windy.
yeah.
It was a windy day.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't notice we were off hiking down along the trail and came back up the ramp, and I think maybe that was the day before when I disturbed the birders, because the egret was there. It seems to be almost a resident now. But he was jumping around in the weeds next to the shore. So I went to get a picture of him and he took off. Well, he didn't go very far, but he was flying around in a circle. And I did get some pictures of him doing the landing and all the other good stuff. But I think there were a couple of guys with big cameras and big lenses I looked over and they were trying to shoot the egret. I guess I screwed up their shot on that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Was Jim Murphy one of them?
no, I looked to see if he was.
Yeah, he's usually over there. I gotta get over and see this guy.
Yeah, he would have yelled at me, I'm sure, if it would have been Jim.
No, he would have just chased you home with his drone. Okay.
And Al, I think we must have been on kind of the same wavelength here. This, Sandy, can I do a share screen real quick?
Yeah,
Okay, hold on just a
Yeah,
second.
permission.
Yeah, I've
good.
got it in here someplace, so, oh, there we go. Oh, no, you're sharing, you must be.
All right, let me unshare here.
Okay, just real quick.
See
I'll
if-
show the original picture for this one. That I scanned in
Oh,
and did a little rework on it, removing some of the scratches and dings and everything else. This was a picture I picked up in an antique store ages ago and just finally found a use for it. So you go back to it, Sandy. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem at all.
Just to kind of give you an idea.
Oh, very good.
Now the background is Old Tucson, and it's the High Chaparral house out at Old Tucson, which I brought in on another layer and put the woman in front of it after I took her again into Photoshop Al and did a colorization on her.
oh,
Did
which
you do
turned out-
colorization in Photoshop in the new?
Yes, in the neural filters.
oh.
Cool.
And then
Nice.
I added a little bit more blue to her eyes. And then softened the skin a little bit. But I think the last thing I did on that for her was just using, it was one of the filters in Topaz.
Oh, so this is a topaz effect here, not
Yeah.
oil painting.
Yeah.
Photoshop. Gotcha.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Does a nice job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do that same on the background?
Yes, I overlaid that on one layer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just noticed a little bit of white around her thumb and wrist and her nose.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And then there's a little linear artifact here that probably should go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Topaz leaves those artifacts every now and then, unfortunately.
I thought it turned out fairly well.
Very
Very
nice.
nicely, yeah. And
No,
Why are all these old vintage photographs? They look amazing. They're always amazing.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're always so sharp and
Yeah.
get
No, I
fantastic.
thought about putting a cowboy in there and even had one on a layer. But, and then, using transparency and to bring him down a lot, but I really didn't like the composition after that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty strong.
yeah.
Mhm.
Very nice.
There's, I don't know if this is a grunge layer or what, but it almost gives the impression that there's glass on this and you're getting a little reflection in the glass.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
It's kind of neat. Very cool. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, Wendell.
okay. Well, this is.
Good, you're continuing that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this is just something I'm playing around with to see how it works and
Yeah.
look at different ways to try this. This is a picture taken at Abiquiu, New Mexico. And the inset is a topaz expressionism, which I thought was rather neat on its own, but I did put it in as the inset to contrast it with what the image looked like coming straight from the camera with very little manipulation to it.
Now, Wendell, did you put this in on a separate layer, the inset itself?
Yes, right. Yeah. Yeah, I just did the topaz and then did a select all and copied it into the
Okay.
background. And then I went in Photoshop and put the gray border around the inset to try to make it look like a three-dimensional object or
I think that worked pretty well.
Yeah,
I think there's
yeah.
two things you could do to spice it up just a little bit more. One would be to ground a shadow here.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
And the other would be to make this edge a little darker so it
Oh, yeah.
separates more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that
actually,
would-
yeah, I think I
Yeah, you did a little bit. I'd
yeah,
just go a
yeah, I
little
could have gone a
further.
little further. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the shadow thing, I hadn't thought of that, but I had thought of putting like legs of an easel below the picture. but
oh.
Then I
Yeah.
thought that might look kind of hokey, so I just let it float.
Mhm. Yeah, you can just, if you want to make it look like it's above the ground, then,
Yeah.
a nice soft shadow, or if you want
Oh,
to
yeah.
make it look like it's touching here and then not here, you can do a
Oh,
harder shadow here, and then when it goes down, kind of soften it,
oh,
so you get some dimension.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever worked with that 3D in Photoshop?
No.
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not supporting it anymore.
No.
Yeah, I
Oh.
know. That was kind of, well, they
It's
came up
kind
with,
of a
I think they came up
bummer.
with one called Dimensions or something else. They spun it off into a different application.
Just want you to subscribe to that little bit more.
No,
oh,
it's
yeah,
not even
that
a
much
little bit
more.
more. It's either you do one or which almost costs as much as doing all of them, which of
Right.
course
Oh,
tends
wow.
you to go to the all of them.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, oh my,
Great
that's right.
marketing.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame. But
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's at the scale of the picture in back is almost deceptive, Wendell, because you look at the rock formation, then you go up and look at the
Oh.
top. And those must be, they're not bushes, I don't think. There must be some fairly good sized trees up there.
Yeah, yeah, that's, well, I have no idea how many, 400 or 500 feet maybe from
Yeah.
where I was standing up to the top. It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good sized hill.
Yeah, I would imagine. Okay.
We could go to the next. Okay, this is similar but different. What I tried to do is, like you've seen sometimes, the flowers or something in a photograph, or then painting where they paint them out onto a mat. I kind of did this, took the original and desaturated it and lightened it up a little bit as the background. But then I took a copy section out of it that I put into Topaz, and I believe I used the line and ink preset on that filter. and then stuck it in there. And I did use a grid to try to pick my points so that I
You did a
cut it
great
out
job.
with. And so, and
That's
little
really neat.
juggling
Yeah,
to
very
line
nice.
up the hills, but
Very nice.
anyway, it's just something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works out nice. There's a variation. You might try moving one of them up or down just so they're not exactly lined up,
Yeah,
just fool with the point of view a bit and see
Yeah.
how that works for you.
actually, when I first did it, it was a little bit off, but I decided to bring it back down into
Mhm.
lining
Yeah,
up
I'd
on
say
that side.
Probably
Yeah.
should make it, at least,
Oh, yeah,
quarter inch or something, so doesn't look like it
right.
didn't quite line up, but it's intentional.
Yeah, I could go that way. As it was just like a 16th or so.
Yeah, no, you gotta probably do at least a quarter inch, really make
I
it
like it.
Yeah.
look
I
intentional.
like it. Nice,
Yep.
nice
Really
Randall.
Very nice.
Just painted desert. It's, if you
It's certainly painted.
I figured that.
Yeah,
Nice.
well done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now the next one is more of my digital carpentry, building a cube. And this is a whole bunch of different things. I took some car show pictures of cars and looked at ones that were taken at an angle that looked reasonable on the faces of this cube and stuck those in. And then the top one there, that it doesn't look quite realistic. I should have view from ground level looking up at the front of a car or something, but this
Yeah,
is
well, you
closest.
could skew it more to make it look like it's falling back on that plane too. Of course, if
Yeah.
3D was still in Photoshop, this would have been
Yeah.
real easy. You could have just
Oh,
assigned
okay.
a picture of each plane, it would have done it for you, but
Yeah, oh, okay.
since it's gone, you got to do it the old way by hand. But you could take this image and with distort, you could push the top points back, and then if you drag down, just not in proportion, but if you drag the vertical down a little bit, it'll tend to fall back.
Okay.
Give the believability that it's
Yeah.
falling away from you rather than being so vertical.
Cool idea there, Randall. It's really nice.
Very.
Yeah, it's very fun.
That must have taken a while to do that.
Well, yeah, I added a lot of things like these gray bars at the corners
Right.
to kind of separate the images. And then,
Mhm.
talking about the shadows, Sandy, I did stick a shadow in like the light was
Yeah.
coming from the left.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
And then I put that black band around the bottom to create kind of a foundation for it and put in a
Yeah,
grunge.
I like what you did here.
Yeah, that was a grunge layer that I just blurred and lightened up, and then
Nice.
I
Yeah.
put a sky in. So, yeah, it did take a while.
I was gonna say, how many hours did you have in on that one?
Well, it's probably a little over 1 hour, I guess, maybe 2.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, just practice mostly.
Yeah. What do you think about softening this horizon line just a little bit, since the
Oh,
clouds are so out of
Oh.
focus?
yeah. Yeah, probably just taking the blur tool and
Yeah,
zipping
yeah,
along
just
there.
come along that. That would definitely bring this more to the
Mhm.
foreground, just
Yeah.
a little bit there. I wouldn't make it as blurry as this stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I believe, I know you can take a lot of tools and run them along a line. So in paths, you could just snap a line here and then run a brush across it, run a blur brush across it. And start it at a low opacity and it'll just go along it, and you can keep repeating it until you
Hmm.
get it where you want.
oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if that
Rather than
works.
trying to do it by hand.
Yeah. But,
So are all these images in different layers?
yes,
Randall?
yeah, there's about, there could be 20 layers or so here because
Oh,
those lines are all little layers of on their own,
Mhm.
the corners, and then the shadow, I don't know, I guess I just selected that area and darkened it, so it's
Mhm.
not on a separate layer, but yeah, it might not have been 20 layers, but the sky, the
Mhm.
ground, each of the cars, and then the corner lines. So,
Well, if that's the case, Wendell, take this GTO layer and you know that little link between the layer and the mask, the little chain link that's in between the layer and the mask icon,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
unlink it. And then go back and transform the picture, and it'll transform the picture, but it'll leave the mask in place.
Oh,
okay,
Oh.
well,
Follow me? Here, let me
Yeah.
try it.
yeah, I didn't use a mask on that.
You did mask that, right?
No,
Oh, you didn't?
no, that's just cut out of a picture that I had. And
Oh, okay. Well,
now,
I guess what you could do then is just select that layer and you'll have it as a mask,
yeah,
and bring in a new one with the whole car behind it. And then
oh,
just use this shape as a mask, and then behind it, you'll have the car poking through, and there might be this much of the actual image behind it, but only the top, where you've got it showing through, and then you could, change it. Let's just see here real quick. Oh, this is pretty small. Yeah, let me make this a little bigger. There we go. But anyway, let's just be quick here. Grab. Well, here's what I'll do. Let me just cut this out real quick. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste. Okay. We're going to move it up here. Just regress. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn that off for a second, and I'm going to just make a mask since I don't have this layer. Yep. Got to click first, not drag. All right. Okay. So now when I go here, since it's already selected, if I just hit the mask button, it's going to mask it.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh.
Now see this little link, this chain?
Yeah,
You click
Okay.
that off, and then you go and highlight the image rather than the mask. You can do either one, but in this case, we're going to do the image. Now you can transfer that image any way you want, and it'll just show up
Ooh.
there. See?
oh, okay.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so
holy
that,
moly.
if you shorten it down like that, it's starting to look like it's laying down. And if you want to even go a little further, if you right click and go to store, you can take these top points in. Okay. And if you go back to transform, just hit Control-T or whatever and hit the center, you can kind of bring it out to where you want it, move it around. Of course, you'd have a bigger image there, so you can get it where you want it. But yeah, you can give it the effect that it's laying down there. And it's a
Okay,
little more
yeah.
believable.
Had tried that skew on some things, but it would kind of stretch it on one side and not the other, and so it wasn't working, but I probably just wasn't pulling the right points on it.
Yeah, it takes a little practice. I had a client in Chicago, Motorola, when they first came out with their phones. I had to put the screens in all the phones, and they were never straight on. So I'd have to skew them and match them up
Oh,
and do it through a mask. So I'd make a mask with the rounded corners where the screen would go, and then I'd bring an image of the screen that they provide me, and then I'd move it around and get it to where I wanted. So
oh,
after doing that for a couple of years, I got a lot of practice.
yeah.
Made it easy. But,
Yeah. Well, one thing I did on this was something you'd mentioned a long time ago on perspective lines. Before I put anything in, I took a background and drew in lines of perspective from the two front corners of the cube out,
Mhm.
like they're receding, and then had intersecting vertical lines and everything.
So you
Had
got your
that all
vanishing
drawn.
points, yeah.
Right.
You-
Got that laid out, and then I could overlay that on top of the photo that I had, and just cut out the part of the photo I wanted to keep using those guidelines. So that was part of my carpentry work.
Yeah. Another thing you could do is, make a new layer and then lock it down to, say, the top layer. Maybe you might want to take a brush and maybe pick one of these colors like here for a highlight, and then just get yourself a nice big soft brush here. Yeah, there we go. And just kind of, with a few highlights across there, and then just change that to, I don't know, maybe screen, and take the opacity down. Just to give it a little dimension.
You make this look too easy.
And then you probably pick one of these sides, since the shadow's here, this side's too bright. So then the other thing I would do is just go here and let's make a new layer above here. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll keep forgetting I got to click first. There we go. Click and drag. Well, that's not a good spot. One more time. There we go. Yeah, woo, come back here. Run away. Car here. All right, so now you've got that. And maybe we just want to darken that down. So we go get a curves layer. And since this has already got a selection, it's going to bring it right into the mask, see? It'll just do it automatically. So now if you just want to darken that side down a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, the other trick is it's affecting the saturation. So if you don't want to do that, you just want to darken it. You take it off normal and put it on luminosity.
Oh,
See the difference?
oh, okay, that's,
See, yeah, that's just dark. That's luminosity. Then it's just affecting the values. There you go. Okay, so now it's a little more believable. So if we go back, there you go. So that's probably what I would do to work it out and give it a little more dimension.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
These are probably a little strong. I'd probably make those a little more subtle, and this is a little strong too, but you got the idea.
Yeah,
All righty.
okay,
Cool.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks. Keep it up. I like that.
Mhm.
All right. Whoops. We got a couple more here.
This one's just a simple topaz oil paint of DeGrazia's gallery. I've done this before, but I did the topaz treatment and frame just for a different look on it.
Mhm.
And I kind of like that effect on the agaves in the foreground and the cactus.
Mhm.
I like your choice of frame. It's
Yeah,
very
that
nice.
was one of the pretty much standard ones that they had.
Wow.
And it turned out to kind of match the Adobe color.
It does, yeah. And the texture as well.
Yeah, yeah. And, well, that's something Sandy had mentioned on one of my other frames that was just plain color, that this one did have texture in it.
Mhm.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of the old burled oak floors I had in my lawn in Chicago.
Yeah.
Back in the turn of the century, burled oak was no big deal. So it was all over the floor. Now, it cost you a fortune to buy a board of it. It was great.
Yeah. Anyway, this was a pretty quick one compared to the others.
Mhm. It works out real nice.
Nice little image, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Mhm.
the last one was just my weekly animal picture.
Now that is a chubby bobcat.
Yeah,
Looks like an old guy.
yeah. he did look well fed.
Yes.
It almost looks like, you know, Garcia or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's on our back wall.
Wow.
And so,
They still
Yeah,
move.
thinking Cats, Sandy, the play, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
Mistopheles or whatever.
Yeah,
the old one was.
yeah. I'll bet he doesn't quite move as quick as the others, but then again, I'll bet he
Yeah.
doesn't have to either with those,
Yeah.
Yeah,
those paws. Look at that. For
Yeah.
his size, it's pretty good.
Yeah, looks like a real big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he is pretty good size.
Yeah.
And you say, as you said, is healthy looking.
That's probably the healthiest one I've seen in this area.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, nice. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, let's see. I've been digging for more people lately, so I'll show you what I got. Let's see here. Get up to, yeah, Tushy.
That's funny. Everybody taking pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I think that was one I was still working on, but we'll start up here. Okay. I kind of like the way the bicycle
Yeah.
rider juxtaposed the
Very nice.
statue.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mhm.
I can't quite remember where this was, but yeah, I kind of caught her at the edge of my eye and said, okay, line it up and shoot it. So that worked out pretty well.
yeah.
This next one, I decided to play with Topaz.
Oh,
Luminar Neo, and
Sun rays.
yeah, I did the sun rays and I did fog. And the nice thing between Neo and AI is that you can keep stacking the same effect. So I did 2 or 3 different
oh,
fogs and then just took masking and brought it in certain places. So you got that kind of wispy,
Oh.
cloudy, foggy
Yeah.
kind of look to it. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Experiment to see what it
Very
would do.
nice.
yeah.
Really sets a mood.
Yeah, so I'm finding myself going between Neo and AI because there's certain things in Neo that I don't have the patience for because they say it's faster, but to me it seems slower, especially the time it takes to harden up and look nice compared to Luminar AI, where as you move the slider, you can actually see what it's doing rather than waiting until it refreshes.
Mm.
Like it does in Neo. So I'm doing a critical color correcting or enhancement. I'm generally using.
Have you noticed with Neo, Sandy, if you take it straight out of Lightroom and sometimes even out of Photoshop, I'll make changes there and then apply those changes, and they don't populate back in either of those programs.
No, I haven't found that. I have found that it looks a little different before you hit apply as to after.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets a little stronger when it renders it. So I've noticed that that's a little bit of a deficit because sometimes you tend to overdo it a little bit because the render makes it stronger than what you see in the preview. But no, I haven't had that problem. What I would probably do is make sure that Photoshop and Lightroom are off, and then reinstall the plugins from Neo. Open Neo and reinstall the plugins.
Yeah.
I had that problem with Topaz Sharpen because I think I had Lightroom open at the time, and every time I went to use Sharpen in Lightroom, it was doing the old one instead of the new updated version.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure all the other programs are off before you install.
I'll try that. I'll try that.
Yeah, that may take care of that problem for you. Okay. This one, I believe I did Luminar AI after I did my basic corrections in Lightroom. And then I added another sky to that. That wasn't the original sky. I also took it through Sharpen because he was a little soft in the face, and he was whizzing through pretty quick.
Yeah.
See a little
Yeah.
motion blur in the wheels, but it sharpened him up pretty well. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
use
the
the
new-
sharpen over the whole image because the
No, I
bricks-
did it selectively. What I did was I
Okay.
made a layer, and I did it from Photoshop. I made a layer, sharpened the whole image, and then I masked back what I wanted selectively. And I put it underneath the before layer,
Mhm.
the pre-sharpened layer, and then I just brought back what I wanted to sharpen rather than going the other way and having to take everything off. And I found that was a little easier to do than trying to do the masking tools in the sharpen app itself. They do have them, but I just guess I prefer the old way. I think in hindsight, though, maybe with the spokes, I don't know if it would handle the auto masking better. I'll have to try that and see. Oh, and then when I brought it back, this area here was a little too light, so I darkened this up and blended about
Yeah.
here.
Mhm.
I did use the relighting I'm sorry, this I did in Neo, not AI, because I did a relighting, which changed it a little bit in here too. So that was kind of nice. In fact, let me, hang on a second here. Let me just see if I can find the original on that one. Where is it? So we got this one. Yeah, there's the original.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see the difference.
Yeah,
The difference, yeah.
Yeah, you can also,
huge.
yeah, you can also see the difference in sharpness too. That's the before. And that's after.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oops, did it move it around? Yeah, there's the before, there's the after.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so up quite a bit. Yeah, like I don't remember if it was this class or Alice's class. I was saying that I use Luminar as my kind of finishing tool now, where I'll start in Lightroom and get everything where I want to balance it best I can, and then I'll go into Luminar to kind of finish it off. And that seems to work pretty well. Okay. Thought this was kind of an interesting shot. I had to balance this quite a bit too. This was all blown out in the back here. And it was kind of bright coming through this area as well. And then she was pretty dark and his face was getting lost. So I kind of balanced it up that way. You guys want to see the original on this too, or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me find that as well. Let's see here. So, yeah, so that's the original there. Oh, well, hang on. Oops. Let me go into, I guess I have to go into this mode. Wait a second here. There's the original.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's almost like you don't even see a picture in there.
Yeah.
Right, so here's all the, well, no, it doesn't show me the masking in this one. Maybe it's somewhere along the line, but yeah, it's quite a bit.
You can't even see the old woman at all.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's where I brought it to, and
Wow.
then yep, came over to here. Yeah,
You don't even see how, like, I know it's not wet, but the floor looks really cool in this
Mhm.
image.
yeah, it's so worn it almost looks like it's wet, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm. It
Yeah.
does. Or
Yeah.
polished at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I gotta go back to
Interesting.
library to get back to quick collection here. There we go. All right, I'll go full frame again. And this is the one that I did in Luminar Neo to get there were wires coming across here.
Oh.
Mm. Oh,
and I couldn't get them all out. So I ended up going into Photoshop using the hue brush on that. Let me find
I
the,
think it does really well if it's against sky
yeah,
or
exactly.
some type of a very neutral background. But as soon as you start to get some texture into it,
Yeah.
it starts to get a little funky.
Yeah, see, that's the before
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's the after.
That's
I
amazing.
cropped the sides down a bit too.
Yeah.
And also straightened it up. It was keystoning a bit. So,
Yeah, nice.
Very good.
thanks. And
oh,
she was making crepes with Nutella. I had to have
oh,
I could smell it all the way across the square. It was amazing. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But you can see she had huge tubs of it.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
And
neat.
this was in the oldest Jewish ghetto. It's in Venice. I didn't know that, but 'cause you always think of Poland for the ghettos, but they had protection there because there was a lot of anti-Semitism going on at the time. we were there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they also seem to have it in most of the museums and other areas just for terrorism too.
Yeah.
It's pretty locked down. And maybe for people that got out of hand when they couldn't get in somewhere because they didn't have their COVID stuff,
Oh, mhm.
that could be as well. But I kind of like the juxtaposition between the kids playing and the soldiers.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there they are, just
Oh.
kind of keeping an eye on a church there
Yeah.
in Venice. But they were pretty much everywhere that way. Some places even had armored vehicles and other things going on and automatic weapons and
Yep.
Wow.
pretty locked down.
Wow. How sad.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little happier.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
A little couple taking a selfie at Lake Como.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nice.
And these two guys
Oh.
sharing something here.
Oh,
They're having a good time.
I like how their legs are crossed.
yeah. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
pretty cool, you know,
Like
just the,
bookends, yeah.
yeah, and I did such modern garb and yet they have the, I don't, what do you call the head
Turbans.
turbans on? Yeah,
Yeah.
everything else is so modern, and then
Yeah, I don't know if they were brothers or best friends or what, but
mm,
yeah, they were pretty involved.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's a good moment. Really.
yeah. And here's a couple just coming up the street in an old Citroen. I love this color version of the old Citroens.
Yeah.
Amazing car, eh?
Burgundy black, yeah.
That almost reminds me of a Peter Sellers movie.
Yeah. And do
I
you notice?
Swear to God.
Do you notice the mask on the
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
giveaway of
Yeah, when it was
current time.
Is that like a convertible or what kind of top is
It's got
that?
like a little flip top, yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
rolls back.
Seen
and
that
just kinda lifts it
before.
off.
Fabric
Yeah.
sunroof.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
These are as basic as you can get, but they look
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see if I got any,
Oh, we should be driving those around here in
Oh,
Green Valley,
yeah.
Alex. Okay.
this is for next time. I
Yeah.
guess that was the end of the people stuff, but yeah, this
Yeah.
was kind of a well-worn billboard
Hmm.
Yeah.
off the side of the road.
Like a couple of billboards, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few through there, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of diverging into things now rather than just people.
That was great.
We'll show some of those next time. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. Yeah.
All right, let me stop sharing here. Stop